but it also has another purpose, and that is to make a social difference. And the social difference that our business makes is teaching job skills to our participants. So it is a component of our Academy of Professional Development. And in our academy, our moms spend 4 weeks in class, and then they go to a 4-week hands-on practicum at Bright Endeavors. They work. It looks just like a manufacturing facility. It's in a warehouse environment. And they come to work every day for 4 weeks. They're paid, and they create these products. We have had moms who have actually created new products, like sachets from candles that would have been waste otherwise because they didn't set right. They have come up with fragrances. So they design candles. They're a green product. They're learning about the environment. We use reclaimed containers, soy candles. They burn clean. These are young women who maybe haven't thought about the environment before, and they're learning job skills. It gives us the opportunity to see if what they learned in the classroom, they're able to put into practice in the workplace.
The craftsmanship of this purse is pretty phenomenal. These look like little pop tops, right?
They are.
Or can, whatever, the little can tops, the tabs or whatever. But done very nicely, kind of like they're kind of crocheted together, and so is there a market for these?
There is. That's actually a collaboration. There is a nonprofit in Honduras that is called Moda Esperanza.
Okay.
And these are young women who are almost identical to our participants, living in poverty and raising children, who in this organization hand make these products out of recycled materials, and that's how they're able to earn a living and watch their children at the same time. Bright Endeavors is the U.S. distributor for Moda Esperanza, and the other partner in this is Ronald McDonald House Charities.
Okay.
So all of the people who have collected pop tabs for Ronald McDonald House Charities over the years, those pop tabs are used in these products. So when a purse is sold, you actually are helping families headed by young parents in 2 parts of the world and Ronald McDonald House Charities, because part of the profit is split between the 3 organizations.
Wow. So where would we see these products?
The website for our business is brightendeavors.org, and there's also a link on New Mom's website, newmomsinc.org.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Because I think that's amazing. So they're learning job skills. They're learning, or they're getting housing. I know that isn't there like a food pantry and also products or items for babies, and how does all that work? Like, what does a typical day look like, or maybe it's a typical week?
Okay. We also serve young women who are as young as 13 who stay elsewhere in the community. Their housing is very unstable and very transient, and they come in for all the services. They just don't live in our housing program. So participants come in and they go to class. There is a class that's called Pathways that is really job readiness and life skills and really helping us figure out where the participant is. It's basic parenting and time management and conflict resolution, and so that class lasts for 4 weeks. The next step in the progression is that they enroll in our Academy of Professional Development. They do an assessment that looks at their educational level, a TABE test just like is done in school, and they also do a career assessment. From that, we create with them a career step ladder where they identify what their long-term career goal is, and they begin attending the classes, go to Bright Endeavors, then they have a 12-week paid internship at an employment partner, another business somewhere else in the city, and they're also paid for that 12 weeks. And then they go into job search for their unsubsidized job, their longer-term job. And we will work with them as long as they're engaged and continue to come for job search time. We will work with them until they become employed. There's also parent support groups. We know that parenting is important. These are young women who, first of all, are young, so it makes it very difficult to parent. you're not developmentally ready to parent. And then not all of our participants have had good role models for parenting. So we put a very strong focus on parenting. We have parenting classes, we have parent support groups where they're with other peers and are able to share their challenges and learn from experts. We do parent-child interactions. Every class, every group has a parent-child interaction. We serve meals. One of the things that we know is even if our participants and their children eat, they're not necessarily eating things that are healthy. So we look for opportunities to model. And we feed a meal every time a child comes to class. So if they get 5 today, we think that's okay. Because they may get 1 tomorrow. And so we bring moms and children together for lunch and a parent-child activity. And then the children will go back to our New Kids program. So we have programming for the children while the moms are in class. We do developmental screenings for their children. We do home visits, so wherever a mom is staying, our staff goes in and begins to work with the mom even as soon as when she knows she's pregnant to help her understand the development of her child and begin to bond. And we help them get re-enrolled in school. As I said, 80% of our participants have dropped out of school. And a little over 60% of our participants graduate from high school before they leave the program.
Oh, that's great.
Which is twice the national average. So we're very happy about that. So really, it's a very holistic approach. We're working with them on all of the things they need to do to parent, all of the things that they need to do to be able to be employed. We want them to move away from chronic dependence on society and into economic independence and family stability. We also want them to, maybe first it is they have to be accepted and not judged by people.
Absolutely.
But as I talked about my church hurts, that's something we see with our participants often. Almost all of our participants have been raised in church. It's not a question of whether they believe that there is a God. They believe that the God that is pretty upset with them. And so
do you, we're getting ready to, in a minute or so, actually see a video that's been provided to us, a New Moms video, so you're going to want to stay tuned to see that. But in this minute or so, how are you weaving devotions and weaving God into all of this, right? Because the service part is evident, and that Jesus is a servant above all, right? But how do you weave that in there and help them to be restored, right? And to be healed of those hurts?
Well, one of the things that I think it's important for me to say is that we don't force it on anyone. So when we can't, and I am a walking testimony of that. And so there's no requirement that a participant believe anything that we believe. There's no requirement that they pray. We do expect them to be respectful when we pray at meals. So, you know, and we think praying at meals is modeling family for them. But really, we don't have Bible classes. I like to say that we're trying to build our faith into the DNA of everything that we do. I got an email on my way over here today from our founder, who is on staff as our director of spiritual formation. And we have a character class that she does every week. And so a new class had started last week, and she wanted to know some of their questions. And she said, of their questions, almost all of them were about God. This was when she just said, what do you want to know? And the 2 big ones came up. If God is an all-knowing, all-loving God, why did bad things happen? And the other was, how do you get to heaven? So this week, she emailed me and said, I'm so excited, I'm about to bust. I just came out of class, and she said, I told them at the beginning that I'd like to take a couple of minutes to try and talk a little bit about their questions for last week. And she said they spent the whole 90 minutes talking about God. Now, this is not something that we said, we're going to have a Bible class today. But it is how the Holy Spirit is at work. We were in staff prayer time yesterday, and we have emerging leaders who are doing internships at our site. and one young lady is about to complete a 6-month internship. And she came to staff prayer. She's our receptionist right now. She came to staff prayer, and as she prayed, she cried, and she made all of us cry. But thanking God for how New Moms had become her family, how we had not judged her, how her supervisor had been a mom when she couldn't go to her own mom.
Sure.
And just to hear that makes my heart just overflow, because it is, we don't have that much love to give. It is God's love at work in us.
Yes. It's His amazing, awesome, everlasting love, and that's the reason why our program is called Everlasting Love. So sit back and enjoy this video.
2 organizations, 1 goal. That is to help struggling young mothers become self-sufficient. The women who benefit say they are renewing their spirits while learning to live green.
What is appropriate to wear to work, what's not appropriate to wear to work.
This is career readiness training at an organization called New Moms. They offer supportive services to 13 to 21-year-old mothers and their children who are homeless or at risk of homelessness.
We also work with them on parenting, financial literacy. We work with them on life skills, anything that they need in order to become responsible, contributing citizens and great parents.
After completing the 4-week course, moms move on to Bright Endeavors for 4 weeks. It is a social enterprise that provides green jobs training.
We hand poured our candles, so we learn how to measure the wax and scents and the temperatures.
Their product line is called Dream Bean Candles. The candles are made from soy and vegetable waxes. The containers are repurposed wine and soda bottles, even baby food jars.
I made these candles, and just to see somebody else like them, it makes me feel good.
Organizers stress that the venture isn't just about the products, though. It's all helping young women out of a cycle of poverty.
We also look at how can we move them toward permanent placement. What companies can we reach out to say, you know what, we have motivated moms who are ready to contribute to the workplace.
Well, this program has actually paid for my GED, which I just passed. They helped me get glasses, so it's not that they just help me with work, they help me outside of work also.
New Moms plans to break ground on a brand new residential facility in the Austin neighborhood this fall. Now, they'll be able to offer apartments to 40 homeless young mothers and their children. They are trying to raise an additional $300,000 so they can include a daycare center on site. For more details about the project or to tell us how you live green, go to abc7chicago.com.